A primordial mist clings to ancient peaks, shrouding a valley untouched by modern time's relentless march. Giant ferns unfurl in the humid air, their emerald fronds glistening with dew beneath a bruised sky. Deep within this primeval expanse, a colossal shadow moves with predatory grace and immense power. Titan Rex, a mountain of muscle and scale, stalks through the swirling vapors, a silent, deadly hunter. His obsidian eyes, sharp as honed blades, pierce the obscuring fog, seeking the tremors of lesser life. The ground shudders faintly with each ponderous step, a rhythm of dominance echoing through the ancient earth. A herd of lumbering triceratops grazes near a sulphurous pool, their wary senses alert to lurking danger. Suddenly, a guttural growl rumbles from the mist, freezing the massive herbivores in terrified stillness. Titan Rex bursts forth, a terrifying blur of teeth and claw, targeting the slowest, most vulnerable prey. Panic erupts as the triceratops scatter, their heavy hooves pounding against the damp, primeval soil. The apex predator lunges, jaws snapping with bone-shattering force, claiming its chosen victim with brutal efficiency. A shriek of agony pierces the valley air, quickly silenced by the terrifying might of the Titan Rex. He stands over his kill, steam rising from his nostrils, a chilling testament to his unchallenged sovereignty here. The mist begins to swirl more violently, stirred not by wind, but by an unseen, unnatural disturbance above. A strange hum reverberates through the valley, a sound that vibrates through the very bones of the earth. Titan Rex lifts his massive head, his primal instincts sensing an anomaly far beyond any natural phenomenon. The sky above him, once a dull canvas of gray, begins to ripple and distort with impossible colors. A blinding light erupts, tearing through the atmospheric gloom, revealing a cosmic wound across the heavens. The air crackles with raw energy as the sky itself seems to rend, forming a colossal, kaleidoscopic tear. This is no storm, no volcanic eruption. This is a rupture in the fabric of reality itself, violently born. Swirling vortexes of ethereal light and shadow writhe within the expanding chasm, a gateway to the unknown. The blinding light pulsates, painting the ancient landscape with hues never before witnessed in this world. Gravity begins to falter, a bizarre phenomenon unsettling the very ground beneath Titan Rex's feet. Small pebbles lift from the earth, dancing weightlessly in the air, drawn upwards toward the cosmic fissure. Larger boulders groan and crack, some tearing free from cliffsides to drift slowly into the sky. The primeval forest groans as ancient trees sway, their roots struggling against the weakening pull of the earth. From the glowing maw of the rift, strange particles begin to fall, shimmering like otherworldly snow. Tiny, iridescent scales drift downwards, catching the distorted light, hinting at a foreign, scaled existence. Alongside them, glowing embers descend, not hot, but cold and luminous, scattering across the valley floor. The very air tastes of ozone and something ancient, something profoundly alien and terrifyingly powerful. A distant roar escapes Titan Rex, not of hunger, but of profound bewilderment and territorial outrage. He watches the sky, his massive form silhouetted against the bizarre, incandescent wound in the heavens. Meanwhile, far beyond the fractured sky, in a realm of eternal tempest, another power stirs with awakening. Tiamat's lair, a colossal mountain carved from obsidian and shadow, pierces perpetually storm-wreathed clouds. Jagged peaks, like ancient fangs, guard her sacred domain, where thunder echoes. Her divine, slumbering breaths. Within the heart of this storm-scarred citadel, Tiamat, the Dragon Queen, senses an unprecedented shift. Her massive form, a symphony of 5 serpentine necks and heads, uncoils slowly from her throne-like perch. Each head, a distinct entity, reacts with its own primal intellect to the burgeoning cosmic disturbance. The central head, golden and regal, observes with a deep, calculating curiosity, its eyes gleaming with ancient wisdom. The red head, fiery and volatile, snarls with raw, untamed anger, sensing an intrusion into her sacred dominion. A blue head, serene yet predatory, watches with a hint of amusement, finding unexpected theater in reality's unraveling. The blackhead, shadowed and wary, eases softly its reptilian gaze, filled with cautious apprehension and dark premonitions. Finally, the green head, driven by insatiable hunger, flicks its tongue, anticipating new bounties, new worlds to devour, the very magic of her dragon realm. A vibrant, arcane tapestry begins to bleed away, drawn towards a singular point. It is a silent, inexorable pool, an invisible tide of power flowing towards an unseen, cosmic drain in the sky. Above her storm-kissed mountain, a familiar distortion begins to manifest, mirroring the distant terrestrial tier. A shimmering fissure, like a wound in the ether, slowly opens, revealing glimpses of chaotic, swirling energies. The rift appears here too, a violent puncture through the pristine veil of her magical, powerful reality. Arcane symbols flash and vanish within the rift's depths, too fleeting to decipher, yet profoundly unsettling. Tiamat's collective mind processes the anomaly, a primal understanding of a shattered boundary igniting within her. This is no mere magical flux. Tisa's agate violently torn open, connecting disparate, unknown cosmic tapestries. Her 5 heads move in unison, a low, resonant rumble emanating from their throats, a sound of ancient, divine power. The storm clouds around her lair churn with renewed ferocity, reflecting the turmoil within the Dragon Queen. Lightning, born of her fury, streaks across the dark sky, illuminating the nascent, shimmering rift above her. She flexes her colossal claws, each talon a polished spear, testing the ancient stone of her throne mountain. A sense of immense, unyielding power radiates from her, a challenge to the encroaching cosmic disturbance. The air thickens with ozone and dragon fire, a volatile mixture of her essence and the rift's chaotic energy. She senses not only a threat, but an opportunity, a vast, unexplored dominion ripe for her conquest. Her ancient eyes, pools of liquid fire and starlight, fixate upon the expanding fissure in the heavens. A low, guttural growl rumbles from her collective throat, a sound of both warning and burgeoning ambition. Back in the primordial valley, the rift's influence grows, warping the very essence of the ancient landscape. Where stray strands of rift energy touch the lush flora, strange transformations begin to unfold instantly. Giant ferns twist and contort, their vibrant green hues shifting to bioluminescent purples and electric blues. Ancient mosses on crumbling rocks begin to glow with an inner, pulsating light, like alien constellations. The very air shimmers, revealing fleeting, ghostly images of impossible landscapes within its distorted depths. Some as moyer skittish creatures of the valley flee in terror, their primitive minds overwhelmed by the anomaly. Tiny, scaly lizards scurry into rock crevices, their eyes wide with instinctual fear of the cosmic intrusion. Flocks of pterosaurs shriek, circling erratically before abandoning the valley in a desperate, panicked exodus. Yet other creatures, drawn by an inexplicable, primal curiosity, move cautiously towards the blinding light. Small, feathered raptors stalk the glowing plants, their intelligent eyes captivated by the strange new energies. Even some juvenile longnecks lumber towards the rift, their massive bodies hypnotized by its ethereal glow. The valley, once a familiar hunting ground, now pulses with unpredictable energies and terrifying, new possibilities. Titan Rex observes these phenomena, his reptilian brain struggling to process the unfolding, impossible reality. His primal fury mixes with the profound sense of violation, as his world is irrevocably altered from above. He lets out a deafening roar, a challenge hurled not at a rival, but at the very tearing sky itself. The sound reverberates, a defiant declaration of dominion against the cosmic forces disrupting his territory. His massive tail lashes, pulverizing ancient stone, expressing his frustration at the incomprehensible threat. He stomps a mighty foot, cracking the earth beneath him, a physical manifestation of his towering rage. The blinding light from the rift intensifies, casting his colossal shadow in grotesque, dancing patterns. He recognizes this as an invasion, an affront to his unchallenged status as the valley's ultimate predator. His instincts scream of a new, formidable rival, one that defies all natural laws and conventional understanding. The falling scales and embers increase, swirling around him like a bizarre, alien snowfall, teasing his senses. He sniffs the air, catching faint, metallic scents mixed with something acrid and deeply magical. Utterly foreign, his eyes narrow, tracking the strange phenomenon, readying for a confrontation with whatever emerges. The ground trembles more violently, not from his steps, but from the increasing instability of the rift's presence. A low growl escapes his throat, a warning to any unseen entity daring to breach his ancient, cherished domain. He stands vigilant, a monument of muscle and fury, awaiting the revelation of his skyborn adversary. Back in her stormy realm, Tiamat prepares her own response to this newly opened, tantalizing gateway. Her golden head lowers, its intelligent gaze fixed on the shimmering fissure, formulating a strategic probe. She decides, upon a test, a measured projection of her power, to gauge the rift's stability and the world beyond. The blue head exhales a chilling mist, gathering arcane energies within its open maw. A preliminary spell. Her black head watches intently, its wary intelligence, noting every fluctuation in the rift's chaotic energies. The red head, impatient, lets out a frustrated hiss, eager for direct, overwhelming confrontation and conquest. From the golden head, a focused beam of pure, raw elemental magic erupts, a vibrant spear of iridescent light. It pierces the rift, a conscious, controlled projection of her immense will and destructive capabilities. The emerald beam shoots through the shimmering portal, its passage causing ripples of cosmic distortion. The rift widens slightly, accommodating the surge of divine energy, groaning under the immense pressure. On the other side, in the primordial valley, the sky above Titan Rex suddenly brightens with an emerald flash. The air crackles violently as Tiamat's elemental blast partially emerges, a beacon of otherworldly power. It is not a full projection, but a probing tendril of pure magic, visible and terrifyingly potent. The beam slices through the dense clouds, parting them like ethereal curtains, revealing a glimpse of void where the emerald light touches the atmospheric moisture. The clouds churn and distort with unnatural speed. Vapors writhe and glow, taking on sickly green and purple hues before dissipating into nothingness. The beam descends further, impacting a towering, ancient cliff face with devastating, silent force. The sheer rock, hardened by eons, instantly vaporizes, where the magical energy makes contact, leaving no trace. A section of the cliff simply vanishes, leaving a smoking, impossibly smooth crater in its wake. The air around the impact site shimmers with residual energy, causing the very light to bend and distort. Titan Rex recoils slightly, a low growl rumbling in his chest, his eyes fixed on the destructive display. He senses the immense power behind the blast, a force unlike any he has ever encountered in his savage world. Thesis, magique, raw, and untamed. A weapon far beyond the physical might he understands and wields so well. The ground beneath him trembles from the shockwave, even though the blast itself was strangely silent. He recognizes the profound territorial threat, a challenge from an entity capable of such effortless destruction. The falling scales intensify, now seeming to pulse with faint, emerald light, carrying a faint, arcane scent. He lets out another thunderous roar, a defiant declaration against the unseen assailant and its terrifying power. Back in her realm, Tiamat observes the successful projection, her collective intelligence processing the feedback. Her golden head nods subtly, confirming the rift's stability, at least for a partial, focused energy transfer. The green head hisses with delight, tasting the strange, fertile essence of the world beyond through the rift. A profound realization dawns within her ancient mind. This is a gateway, not merely a tear in the sky. It is a portal to new hunting grounds, a vast, untouched dominion ripe for her dominion and ravenous hunger. Her ambition flares, a cosmic fire igniting within her, envisioning an expanded empire across dimensions. The redhead thrashes slightly, eager to unleash its full destructive power upon this newly discovered realm. The blackhead, Eberkotia still senses underlying instability, a subtle tremor in the rift's foundation. But the lure of new power, new worshippers, new worlds, overwhelms any lingering apprehension within her. Her 5 heads turn in unison towards the rift, their eyes blazing with a shared, overwhelming resolve. She begins to move, her colossal body shifting, preparing for the arduous, dangerous act of dimensional crossing. The throne mountain groans under her immense weight, ancient stone cracking as she pushes off its surface. Her vast, leathery wings unfurl, catching the tumultuous winds of her storm-bound realm, preparing for flight. A deep, resonant hum emanates from her, a sound of immense power focusing, preparing for the impossible feat. She rises slowly, her serpentine necks stretching towards the shimmering portal, her gaze unwavering. The rift pulsates in response, as if sensing the impending arrival of the colossal, divine entity. With a powerful beat of her wings, Tiamat propels her immense bulk towards the cosmic tier in reality. The storm clouds around her lair explode with thunder and lightning, a chaotic symphony of her transition. Her leading golden head plunges into the rift first, vanishing into the swirling, kaleidoscopic energies. Then the red, blue, black, and green heads follow, pushing through the resisting fabric of dimensions. The effort is immense, a colossal struggle against the very laws of physics and interdimensional travel. Her thick, scaled neck strain, muscles rippling under the immense pressure of crossing between worlds. Only her heads and the upper portions of her necks emerge first, breaching the veil into the dinosaur world. They loom from the sky, 5 monstrous, serpentine forms writhing amidst the shattered clouds, a terrifying vision. The sight is utterly alien to the primordial valley, a nightmare-given form descending from the heavens. Her presence alone, even partially manifested, unleashes immediate, catastrophic atmospheric changes. The air chills rapidly, even as strange, burning embers continue to fall from the distorted sky. Thunder, deep and resonant, begins to rumble, not from natural storms, but from her very being. Streaks of colored lightning, emerald, ruby, sapphire, obsidian, and golden, rip through the darkened heavens. These are not mere bolts. They are manifestations of her elemental essence, unleashed upon this new world. The rain begins to fall, not water, but shimmering, glowing embers, scorching the ancient foliage below. These embers sizzle upon contact with the damp earth, leaving smoldering, iridescent marks upon the ground. The valley below is plunged into a chaotic maelstrom of unnatural weather and terrifying, divine power. The smaller creatures that had been drawn to the rift now flee in absolute, primal terror, shrieking loudly. The bioluminescent plants pulsate wildly, their light flickering in protest against the overwhelming energies. Titan Rex stares upwards, his massive form momentarily frozen by the sheer, overwhelming spectacle above him. His primal mind struggles to comprehend the multi-headed aurora divine beast emerging from a cosmic wound. This is the source of the scales, the magic, the disruption. This is the invader, the cosmic trespasser. A low, guttural growl begins to build in his throat, a deep vibration of pure, unadulterated rage. His eyes, pools of obsidian fury, fixate on the 5 monstrous heads writhing amidst the roiling storm. He sees not a god, but a rival, a colossal challenger to his undisputed reign over this entire world. The very air tastes of ozone and bloodlust, a volatile cocktail of elemental magic and primeval fury. His powerful legs tense, muscles coiling like immense springs, preparing for a monumental confrontation. He must assert his dominance, drive this monstrous intruder back into the fractured abyss from whence it came. A new, terrifying roar tears from his throat, a declaration of war against the looming celestial beast. The sound rips through the storm, a defiant challenge echoing across the now fused, chaotic landscapes. Tiamat's heads turn towards the source of the roar, their collective gaze falling upon the colossal dinosaur. The golden head observes with calculating interest, assessing the brute force and primal power of this world's champion. The red head snarls, with pure, unadulterated aggression, eager to incinerate this defiant, scaled challenger. The blue head emits a low chuckle, finding amusement in the audacity of the terrestrial beast's challenge. The black head narrows its eyes, recognizing the raw, untamed power, a worthy, dangerous adversary indeed. The green head extends its neck slightly, a predatory gleam in its eyes, envisioning a new, challenging hunt. Her immense body continues to push through the rift, slowly, inexorably, into the new, vibrant dimension. Each inch gained is a monumental effort, a testament to her divine will and unyielding, colossal strength. The rift itself groans and shimmers, destabilized by the passage of such a titanic, magical entity. Its kaleidoscopic energies surge and ebb, threatening to collapse under the strain of her immense weight. But Tiamat perseveres, her ambition fueling her forward, her desire for conquest overriding all physical limits. More of her massive, scaled body emerges, her powerful shoulders and forelegs now visible through the portal. She is a living mountain of scales and muscle, gradually manifesting fully into this new, strange world. The storm around her intensifies dramatically, a chaotic vortex of elemental fury swirling around her form. The ground below buckles and cracks from the sheer force of her arrival. The earth groaning in protest. Titan Rex, seeing the full scale of the emerging threat, knows he must act, must meet this challenge head-on. He begins to climb, his powerful legs propelling him up the crumbling slopes of a nearby ridge. The earth shudders with each ascent, dislodging rocks that tumble into the now glowing valley below. He scrambles over jagged, ancient stone, driven by an instinct older than time itself. Protect his territory. His massive claws find purchase on the treacherous terrain, his immense body moving with surprising agility. He targets a high, broken plateau, a natural vantage point from which to confront the skyborn invader. The wind whips around him, carrying the scent of ozone and dragonfire. A potent, intoxicating challenge. He reaches the summit, his colossal form silhouetted against the tumultuous, rift-scarred sky. Below, the valley glows with alien light, a battleground awaiting the clash of two primordial titans. Above him, Tiamat's 5 heads, now fully emerged, writhe and coil amidst the roiling, elemental storm. Their eyes, burning with divine intelligence and ancient power, fixate upon the defiant terrestrial beast. The air thickens with anticipation, a charged silence descending upon the chaotic, vibrant landscape. The 2 titans, one divine, one primordial, stand ready, poised on the precipice of an impossible war. Tiamat's 5 heads loom from the heart of the storm, their scales gleaming with otherworldly light. Below, Titan Rex stands defiant on the shattered plateau, a living monument of raw, unyielding power. His massive jaws open wide, unleashing a thunderous roar that shakes the very foundations of the earth. It is a challenge, a declaration, a primal scream against the cosmic intrusion into his sacred world. Tiamat's heads respond with a collective, piercing shriek, a sound of ancient, divine fury and disdain. The storm around her intensifies, colored lightning lashing out, reflecting her mounting, celestial rage. The very ground beneath Titan Rex's feet begins to glow with an ominous, purple light from the rift's influence. He ignores the strange energy, his focus solely on the multi-headed behemoth descending from the fractured sky. Tiamat's 5 heads coil and weave, each neck a living pillar of scaled muscle, preparing for the attack. The golden head emits a low, resonant hum, gathering arcane energy for a devastating, focused magical assault. The red head's eyes glow with molten fire, its jaws parting to unleash a torrent of searing, destructive flames. The blue head gathers crackling ice, forming razor-sharp shards that glitter with deadly, frigid intent. The black head channels dark, corrosive mists, preparing to unleash a suffocating, blinding cloud of despair. The green head hisses, its venomous fangs dripping with potent, acidic poison, ready to strike and dissolve. Each head acts independently, yet in perfect, terrifying concert, a symphony of elemental destruction. Titan Rex lowers his massive head, his eyes burning with an ancient, untamed fury, preparing for the onslaught. His powerful tail lashes once more, sending tremors through the already unstable, glowing plateau beneath him. He lets out another earth-shattering roar, a challenge hurled directly at the 5 monstrous, divine faces. The air vibrates with a clash of primordial might and divine magic, a prelude to the coming cataclysm. The ground around the plateau begins to buckle and tear, unable to contain the immense, building pressures. Trees are uprooted, flung into the air by unseen forces, twisting into grotesque, splintered shapes. The rift above them pulsates wildly, its kaleidoscopic energies surging and ebbing with increased instability. It expands slightly, revealing fleeting glimpses of Tiamat's massive, scaly body still trapped within its depths. Her hindquarters and tail remain within her storm realm, anchored across the dimensional barrier. She is a bridge between worlds, a living conduit for the chaotic energies now flowing through the rift. The primordial valley itself begins to groan, its ancient foundations threatened by the cosmic intrusion. Titan Rex, a creature of pure instinct, knows only one response to such an overwhelming, existential threat. He charges forward, a living avalanche of muscle and teeth, determined to meet the enemy head-on. His massive legs propel him across the crumbling plateau, each stride shaking the very earth around him. Tiamat's 5 heads descend, their collective breath a searing gale of elemental fury aimed directly at him. Fire, ice, acid, darkness, and pure magic converge, a rainbow of destruction hurtling towards the apex predator. The golden head fires its emerald beam, piercing the air with blinding, focused, destructive energy. The red head unleashes a torrent of molten flame, turning the air into a shimmering, suffocating inferno. The blue head spits forth a volley of jagged ice shards, each one capable of cleaving through solid rock. The black head exhales a cloud of corrosive mist, dissolving everything it touches into smoking, foul decay. The green head vomits forth streams of potent, virulent acid, bubbling and hissing as it descends. Titan Rex, with surprising agility for his size, swerves, narrowly avoiding the concentrated elemental assault. The combined blasts impact the plateau behind him, erupting in a catastrophic explosion of raw, destructive power. Stone melts, ice vaporizes, acid hisses, and shadows deepen, leaving a scorched, utterly devastated crater. The force of the impact sends a shockwave rippling across the valley, shattering distant rock formations. Titan Rex roars in defiance, his primal fury undiminished by the overwhelming display of divine power. He leaps, his colossal body launching into the air, aiming for the nearest of Tiamat's serpentine necks. His massive jaws snap, rows of dagger-like teeth gleaming with terrifying, predatory intent in the chaotic light. Tiamat's heads recoil, surprised by the sheer audacity and brute force of the terrestrial beast's counterattack. The black head, quicker than the others, whips its neck, deflecting Titan Rex's lunge with a powerful blow. Titan Rex is sent sprawling, his immense body skidding across the crumbling plateau. Momentarily stunned, he quickly regains his footing, shaking his massive head, a growl rumbling deep in his powerful chest. His eyes, blazing with renewed fury, lock onto the black head, singling it out for his next devastating assault. Tiamat's heads prepare another volley, their elemental energies coalescing once more, shimmering with deadly intent. The rift above them groans louder, its ethereal edges fraying, threatening to unravel completely under the strain. The gravity flickers more violently, sending rocks and trees spiraling upwards into the swirling vortex. Tiamat senses the growing instability, a fleeting moment of concern registering within her collective mind. Her primary goal is conquest, but not at the cost of being trapped or destroyed within the collapsing rift. She must establish dominance quickly, decisively, before the interdimensional gateway becomes too unstable. Her golden head lets out a piercing shriek, a command to her other heads to unleash their full, combined might. A torrent of fire, ice, acid, darkness, and pure magical energy erupts simultaneously, a focused, annihilating force. The combined blast impacts Titan Rex directly, engulfing him in a maelstrom of elemental devastation. A blinding flash of light erupts, momentarily obscuring the colossal dinosaur from Tiamat's view. When the light fades, Titan Rex is still standing, though his scales are scorched and smoking, his roar defiant. He has absorbed the full impact, his primordial hide proving remarkably resilient against the divine assault. His eyes, however, now glow with an eerie, purple energy, reflecting the rift's chaotic power within him. Tiamat's heads recoil slightly, a flicker of surprise, even respect, passing through their ancient, reptilian minds. This beast is stronger, more resilient than she anticipated, a true champion of this savage, untamed world. Titan Rex, now pulsating with strange, borrowed energy, lets out a guttural, challenging roar once more. He charges again, a force of nature, a living embodiment of primal fury, towards the divine intruder. Tiamat's heads prepare for another attack, their elemental power surging, ready to meet his renewed assault. The clash is inevitable, a collision of two titans, two worlds, two fundamentally different forms of power. The rift above them screams, its energies spiraling out of control, threatening to consume both realms. The entire valley floor begins to tear open, revealing glowing, molten fissures beneath the ancient earth. Tiamat's massive, 5 heads loom from the roiling, multicolored storm clouds, a vision of divine terror. Their eyes, pools of ancient wisdom and burning ambition, fixate upon their defiant terrestrial. Below, Titan Rex stands tall upon the shattered plateau, his form radiating raw, untamed, primordial fury. His obsidian eyes, now tinged with a faint, unsettling purple glow, meet the gaze of the Dragon Queen. A silent understanding passes between them, a recognition of immense power, of an equal, formidable threat. The storm rages, the rift screams, the earth groans, as two titans prepare for their ultimate, devastating clash. Divini intelligence, cooled and calculating, gleams in Tiamat's multifaceted eyes. Assessing her opponent's strength, primal fury, ancient and unyielding, burns in Titan Rex's obsidian gaze, reflecting his untamed, savage will. Their eyes lock across the chaotic, rift-scarred landscape, a silent challenge passing between the titans. The air crackles with unspoken threats, an unimaginable power, poised on the brink of absolute destruction. The fate of two worlds, now fused and fractured, hangs precariously in the balance of their impending war. A single, ominous crack echoes from the rift, expanding rapidly, threatening to engulf everything. The valley trembles violently, as if the very fabric of reality prepares to tear itself apart completely.